those of you that don't know me, I'm Melanie Craig. I joined LimeLife in January. Gosh, this is my sixth full month in LimeLife, and it's already been such a ride. But just to kind of give you a little background, I've been a nurse in, let's see, in August, it'll be 21 years that I've been a nurse. And I've been a mom for 20 years. So that's been my life up until now. And Stephanie introduced me about a year ago, I guess, with just some initial skincare and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. At that time, I was taking my daughter to a dermatologist for her acne, and she was having to endure lab draws and medication that was just not good on the liver and stuff like that. And I made you feel very guilty as a mom. Okay, I had this really good skincare, but my daughter's going through heck, to endure the treatment for her skin. So I was like, well, if it can help my dry skin, it surely can help her acne and stuff like that. So we pursued that, and we stopped all that lab draw, and we stopped all that medication, of course, under the direction of the doctor, and her skin started clearing up. And it almost just made me wonder, why did I wait so long? So anyways, fast forward a little bit, here comes January, and Stephanie Burgers, who I signed up under, and she was like, why don't you just, are you open to possibly selling or even joining LimeLife? And I said, well, of course, I'll do it for the discount. I'm from a family of 7 kids. If you didn't have a coupon or a discount, you probably weren't getting it, And so I was like, oh, absolutely, I'll do the discount, but I'm not doing a single live. I'm not going and doing any of that stuff. I'm not doing a live. That's not me, And so I had my link as soon as I signed up, and I just started selling. I think I sold around $1,000 before I even received my kit, which I had no clue I was even capable of, or that people were listening to me. But more so, don't get me wrong, I'm all about the discount, and I know a lot of people say that. But as I began to do that, I was finding I found more than I even knew that I was looking for or needed, because with being a mom, I was a mom young. I became a mom at 21. So I have 2 kids now going, hey, Joe, thanks. I have 2 kids now heading to college, and I have 1 more at home still. So, and she's pretty well on autopilot. So this whole running around like a crazy person to ball games and to track meets and room mother, which, don't get me wrong, I loved every second of it, because somebody told me, you're going to wish you had those days back when they're gone. Oh my gosh, they weren't kidding. It was like, I had a life besides being a mom, but being a mom is my life, So it just served, and then it just served like a extra purpose for me, because also as a nurse, I want to find the solution for people, I want to help them with their problems. I'm a caretaker, which is kind of a lot of mom qualities too. So then fast forward through COVID and everything, we're doing telephonic visits. We're doing a lot of Zoom. I know we do that here, but when you're used to that interaction with a human being, and that person is telling you their problems over their phone, it's not the same. And I just wasn't feeling like I was using my potential or my, I don't know, I guess what I knew to do. So with these lives that I promised I would never do, I started interacting with people. Oh my gosh, I looked forward to that. That was like when I got in that dark hole where, Audra, thank you so much. But when you get in that dark hole where you're like, you just are craving interaction, you're craving that conversation, those lives were it. And I tell this story in the lives different times, or I've told it in meetings, but I've even had this one lady that I look up to dearly. She may buy eventually. If she doesn't, it's fine too. But I'll see her we have Casey's and a diner in town. We're an itty bitty town. She'll say at Casey's, so what are we talking about this week? I had no clue she was even watching, I'm like, she just said, she's kind of the same thing where she wasn't having that interaction. She wasn't having all that. So as I began to do lives and sell things, it gave me that purpose back. And I promised myself I want to get teary, so I'm going to do my best. But I went through a dark time in my career where when you work with mental health, you help people through a lot of dark times. And you start looking at the questions you're asking them. And if I had to answer those questions, what would I do for me? And I used to feel guilty taking time for myself or doing something for myself instead of spending that time with my kids or working if I had the chance. And now it's feeling like just this burden off my shoulders. Like, yes, I'm doing this for myself, but in return, I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my kids. I'm doing it for, whatever else, for those people that are looking for it. So I've heard different ones talk about their anxiety with it. I've heard different ones talk about, I've had a few that I've approached even for the business side of it that said, you're so much more secure with yourself than I am. And I'm just like, girl, you have no idea, and I just tell her, all of us bring our own story behind us. And Jeff, my husband, I've been divorced and he's my second marriage, and I'm happier than I've ever been. But you go through that time where you are working, you are making ends meet, and you are doing whatever you can to do whatever your kids need and stuff like that. So the biggest time, or I shouldn't say biggest time, the most rewarding time, my daughter, of course, just graduated high school in May. I took my LimeLife card to pay for her dual credit classes. Guys, she was in 18 hours of dual credits this semester. And I paid for that with LimeLife. And did I have to use my LimeLife card? No, but it was like, she was with me and saw me slide that LimeLife card. And she's like, dang, Mom, and I'm like, she's watching me, do this. And maybe I was doing more with my kids during that free time than I realized, So, and then of course, fast forward to Palooza. Oh my gosh. So no matter if you are watching a replay, no matter if you are, absolutely, Joe. No matter if you were watching a replay, no matter if you were there live, no matter if you were at a watch party, wherever you were putting a foot forward in that business. So personally, I was in Nashville with this great group of girls, and I learned, I felt like I was getting to know them anyways, but oh my gosh, I can't even explain it. Just to talk to people, everybody's going through the same thing. Like, everybody's earning that right to be here. Everybody's putting forth the effort. And instead of always feeling like, I guess I'm backtracking a little bit. In high school, I hung out with the guys because my brother and I was close and his football buddies were there. I cheerleaded my senior year just because my brother and I could ride home from the games together, that kind of thing. So I was more friends with the guys. I didn't have a big group of girls. And some of them, you always wondered what was being said once you left the table. And I've heard people say that, and you don't realize until they talk about somebody that's left the table how that affects you. But I started having a different outlook on life because somebody years ago told me there's only two things that you can control in your life. It's your attitude and your effort. And I've been saying that to my kids all 4 years that they were in high school. And I'm like, girl, why aren't you listening to yourself? You know? So as I started to do this effort and started to talk more to people, I met people that I would do a one-on-one with. And one of my favorite stories, and a very good friend of mine, she's old enough to be my mom, actually a little bit older than my mom. She lost her husband in August. She was my first one-on-one in February. And half her time was crying because she just needed that somebody to talk to. She said, okay, if you could give me every single thing I would need, what would it be? And I started from start to finish. She said, okay, I'll take it all. And I seriously was like crying by the time I left. I was like, she trusted what I said, you know, like everything like that. So anyways, just these people are needing us as bad as we are needing them. And of course, the money is awesome. The money is awesome. I think I would be in this group if I wasn't making money, to be honest with you, but I'm happy to be fortunate enough to be able to do that. And I guess, I don't even know how much time I have, but thank you, Courtney. I guess what it really hit home hard over this last weekend, when you realize all those execs up there have a similar story. When those execs are being brought to tears over their story still, that they're living it, and they would hug you just the same as they would hug a person right next to their rank. They don't care if you're a beauty guide in training or if you're a director or whatever. I mean, obviously they care, but they would treat you the same. I can't even describe it. One of my favorites is, I talked to Courtney Line, and if you don't know Courtney Line, she's the queen of reels. She sells like crazy, and I just really enjoy following her. And she was a speaker, and I just went up to her because I used to be on school board, so we talked about teaching and stuff like that. And she said, girl, how was I? And I said, seriously? Courtney Lyons asked me how she was, you know, like, but she said, I am not a public speaker, you know, and all this. And I'm just like, girl, she's just another human being. She's a teacher. She's making it this a go in her life and stuff like that. So I guess if anything I can say is, I sure hope everybody enjoys this as much as I do. And another thing, nobody always or nevers. So I don't always post exactly what I should every week, probably. However, it doesn't mean that somebody is never watching, you know? So if I can say always, there is always someone watching. There's always somebody that needs to hear what you have to say. No matter, I did a reel today. Okay, first of all, I sent this to Michelle because I'm a dork. And I did my first reel that was not even intentional. I went to the car wash. I was like, oh, I'll just take a picture real quick. My makeup's looking kind of good. You know, I'll use this later on. I'll be darned, my window was rolled down a little bit, and I was in the automatic car wash, and I'm like, hit record. And it was showing the water come in a little bit. And I've had 2,100 views on that, you know, on Instagram. And I was just like, yay. Of course, they're probably like, yeah, she's a mom, you know, whatever. But I don't care. It was a reel, it's done. And as they said at Palooza, get it done, not perfect. However, it couldn't have worked out any better, to be honest with you. And I didn't even care that the back of my hair was a little bit of damp when I walked into work, because I went through the car wash and I got my reel done. So anyways, I guess life is going to happen. These people that we are talking to, life happens to them too. Allow yourself the grace to not be perfect. Nobody wants perfect. In fact, I didn't even wear makeup hardly until I was doing the lives. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to learn how to do it, I might as well wear it. Anyways, great skincare and great makeup is awesome, but I couldn't thank everyone enough for the sisterhood and efforts that they have put in. Anytime I ask a question, everybody is super eager to help out. And oh gosh, there's so many times, if you have a chance to go to Palooza, Denver in 2022 is going to be awesome. And I hope the girls that went to Nashville go, and 2 or 3 times that at least, because let me tell you, there's no other like it. I will have to warn you, you will laugh so hard your gut hurts, but every second is worth it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's so worth it. But I guess that's kind of it. I guess just more or less, I was a mom and a nurse, and I love both of those roles greatly, but I didn't know that I needed to do this for myself near as much as what I truly did. And I will find myself crying off and on different times just because I was like, I didn't think that I was supposed to be doing anything else besides working and being a mom. And this doesn't even feel, I mean, I know this is a side job, it's a side gig. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like the part of my day that I look forward to for myself. So do it for yourself, enjoy every second of it. And those that have been here a lot longer, I'm so glad you're here because you give me hope that it stays like this. And, you know, we're all cheering each other on. So if I can ever help anybody, any way possible, Facebook, Messenger, whatever, I'd be happy to do it. So if anybody has any questions, throw it out there. But thank you so much for coming on here and listening to me